Hey brothers, good morning and welcome to Man Talk Monday. It's Mike here, and today I want to talk with you about something that I've been learning a lot about recently, in the last couple of years actually, and that's the topic of how to trust God when times are uncertain. This issue of uncertainty, as you guys well know, has been growing and growing over the last number of years as our world has become more and more uncertain, and a lot of the things that I think used to depend on, or at least think were fairly stable, have become less and less stable for all of us. And I think us as men, when we're called to, as a part of our role, provide stability, provide safety, provide a sense of security for the people that we love, and that process has become more challenging for us, I would argue, as we have been entering into a season, a long season of things just going haywire all around us. The systems that we're in, the institutions that we depend on, the even truth, facts, no longer are dependable to us. We can't know for sure what is actually happening in the world around us. And so the question of what it means to trust God and to follow Him in seasons like that or in times like these has become increasingly difficult for, I think, all of us. And for me, it's been really weird too, because about a little over 2 years ago, I felt led by God to sell my house and to move into a van full time. And I've been traveling on the road for over 2 years now. I think 2 years and 4 months, something like that. And the whole point of it really was to make myself more available to be able to follow God in a more present and spontaneous kind of way, where I can be more open to the moment-to-moment leading of the Holy Spirit in my life, and to be more responsive to the ebbs and flows of circumstance, and to be more spontaneous, open-hearted, more willing to take risks, things like that. And I got to tell you, this has been perhaps one of the most difficult things that I've ever had to try to learn. And a lot of that comes from my upbringing or my childhood. I had a very unsafe childhood. There was abuse in my childhood. There was a lack of safety in my childhood. So for those of you guys who've been in situations like that, or even probably a lot of you who haven't, when you grow up in a context where nothing is ever safe, and there is no place where you feel secure, then I learned how to always be hyper vigilant, how to always keep my guard up, always keep my defenses on high alert. And so one of the ways that I managed the lack of safety in my life was to hyper plan everything, like to study things in advance, to know where things were going to go, to know where I was going to be, to know far in advance, kind of like what the situation was going to be like, where all the exits were, where I needed to prepare ahead of time for any kind of contingencies, And I even grew up thinking a lot about that in terms of wisdom. Like I was doing my due diligence, so I would study ahead of time and be wise about whatever I was going to be confronting in the future. And that's not all wrong. I mean, there's nothing wrong with planning ahead and looking in advance to see what the challenges might be. But what the lesson has been for me over the last couple of years is that many times, for me at least, and I think for us as men, what we couch as wisdom and forethought and pre-planning and all of that due diligence that we say is for the sake of protecting other people or just being wise is actually fear, and that's motivating us, and is actually the drive for control, the need to be the one in charge. And over the last couple of years for me, being in the van and not knowing where I was going to go from one month to the next, or 1 week to the next, or 1 day to the next, I've had to let go let go of that sense of control and to give over to God more and more of the sense of my own autonomy and my own destiny from one day to the next. And with the advent of so much uncertainty in the world, as you can imagine, this has only been multiplied tenfold, 100-fold, because there's so much uncertainty happening everywhere, all around us all the time now, that not only is my life uncertain, but everything is uncertain. And so it's just increased that sense of fear and that need to sort of grab hold of things and control them. But I've been reminded quite a lot over the last couple of years, as things have gotten more and more haywire in the world, of the way it must have been for Jesus' disciples when they first started following him, when Jesus was alive on earth in the human form, that they also did not know where they were going to be from day to day or week to week or month to month. And it's not as though Jesus laid down, pulled out a big map ahead of time in a blueprint and said, here's where we're going, and here's all the projects, and here's how it's all going to unfold. He just said to each disciple in turn, follow me. And that is really what the mandate is for us as followers of Christ, as men of God. And I have had to learn, I am learning the hard way through my experiences over the last 2.5 years or so, and through the experiences of what we're all encountering in the world right now, how to confront the deep-seated compulsion to control that's in my heart, and the deep fear that I have of being out of control, of not knowing what's around the corner, of being taken off guard, of being in some way humiliated or overcome, or maybe taken out at the knees at a time when I don't want to be taken out at the knees, or be made to look like a fool. And so I just want to challenge you and myself this week as we continue to, every day, encounter a new litany of insanity that's coming through our news feeds, and all kinds of uncertainties that continue to mount all around us, to consider the kind of men that we want to actually be in the midst of this, and to have at least on the table the option, and to really consider it seriously, of what would it look like for me to actually just be a pure follower of Jesus right now. And I don't mean, let me just list these principles, let me be a religious person. I'm not talking about religion here. I'm talking about following the actual Jesus in the same way that the disciples in the first iteration of the church followed Jesus in real life, in real time, where they got up every morning and they looked to Jesus and said, where are we going today? And just followed him. In my own life in the van, when I started out, I would plan out my schedule up to 6 months in advance, because I was so nervous about not knowing where I would be or what I'd be doing. And then it got down to 4 months in advance, and it was 3 months in advance, and then it was 2 months, and then it was 2 weeks, and then it was a week. And only now, 2 years in, am I finally at a place where I don't know where I'm going to be tomorrow. And I'm still learning to be not only at ease with that, but to be excited about that, to be in a place where I'm experiencing that as a place of great possibility and generative excitement, rather than a place of deep uncertainty and fear. And so I want to encourage us all, including me, to consider the possibility that there is a way of walking through uncertainty that is actually not fraught with fear and with a compulsion for control. And then maybe, just maybe, in this season of uncertainty around us that we're all facing, we all have an opportunity as men of God to develop this muscle of trust and to really lean into intimacy with Christ in a way that perhaps we never have before, and to look to him and to learn how to listen, to really listen to Christ in a way that we haven't before, and be able to follow moment to moment, day to day, instead of trying to grapple with and control everything all the time. Within BraveHeart, we actually have a value. One of our core values is called "We Take One Step at a Time." And I just want to read it to you because I've gone back to this again and again in recent months, and actually last year or two, to help me center and to reconnect to this principle that I'm learning about how to not try to grasp and control everything, and just to be present and to listen and to follow my King. Here's how it goes. We take one step at a time. Because of our trust in the present, focused, unfolding work of God, we actively choose to slow down and let ourselves be led by him. There is no checklist we must follow. There is no template we must obey, nor any master plan we must concoct. Instead, we actively listen to our King, trusting the way God unfolds the path before us, even when that means waiting and not knowing why. We value being with Jesus over the gods of busyness and productivity that rule so many in our world. But we are not of this world, and all we need to do is follow. So my challenge for you and for myself this week is to practice letting go of control, listening in silence to God, and just following one step at a time. Try it this week. Just see what unfolds if you try it that way. And see what happens if you do. If you like this video, I ask that you would share it with a brother, pay it forward to someone else who may need to hear it. Please like the video too, and to leave a comment below so that we can help the algorithm, show it to more people. And also subscribe if you haven't already. And if you want to know more about what we offer, you can follow links in the description to our website to see how you can join us for our next BraveHeart Intensive. Thanks, guys. Hope you have a good one this week. Talk to you soon.